Hey, Mom. Hi. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, man. Oh, hold on. What's up, y'all?
Hey, how we doing?
How y'all doing?
Good.
Let me close out my stuff so y'all don't hear me sneezing and stuff today.
Can you hear me, Slime?
Yeah, I'm here, PJ. I'm on the phone with my mom. I'm gonna let you talk while I go upstairs. I'll be back.
All right, cool.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
All right, guys, we're gonna wait about 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes, and then we'll get going. If you guys didn't know, Laurel's dad passed away this morning, so just keep her and her fam in your prayers, please.
Oh man.
So she wanted to do class today, so she wanted to show up, so I said I'd show up with her and stuff. It's all good. But yeah, about 4 or 5 minutes, we'll get class going. We'll go over the ending part of the foreclosure, and then I'll go over court etiquette, what to say in court, who to say it to, how to send stuff, who to send stuff to, and we'll get into that, okay? just about 5 minutes, 3 minutes.
आप वही पे काम करते पहले ही थे हमें पैसा पैसा आप रहे
All right. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So we're gonna finish up with the foreclosure, and then I'll go over how to handle yourself and what to say in court, and then what to send, who to send it to, and how to send it. Okay. All right, see, we're gonna have to. All right, Laurel has like everything that we had from last class. All right, so I'll go over the foreclosure real quick and bring us everybody up to speed. So you take your original complaint from the other prosecutor, you do your banker's acceptance, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna do the 1099-A on your deed of trust and the note. Those are your two securities that you need to take control over. And here, I'll go over real quick the UCC ones again and how to take control and put your vested interest into the notes and deed of trust.
So the value of the deed of trust would just match the value of the note.
Right, because the deed of trust is what funds everything. That's where the foundation is set through the deed of trust. Okay, so this is real quick. This is registering the note. You'll get the file number associated with your deed of trust and your note. And so this is, I'll go over something new that I learned a couple days ago working with some other people that I'm in a group with. Excuse me, I just made some garlic soup and it's delicious. I just learned, so once you get your birth certificates authenticated, then we're gonna do another UCC filing. You're gonna get a registered mail number, and that's gonna be the organization's ID, because you guys need to be a transfer agent with the DTCC, and you're gonna buy a QSIP number that correlates with the authenticated birth certificate number, which is the number on the top of the authentication. Because you have to send a transfer agent letter, a letter accepting the responsibility of being a transfer agent, a W-9, and then the 17-16 AD form. So I guess the fax number on the FINS application is no good. So they said contact them by email and the phone number. So don't worry about faxing your FINS, and I guess it's free as well. So it's no longer $50.
So are we talking about we're talking about a federal authentication for Canada and getting that federal authentication, and the
Right.
W-9 is for the foreign grantor, the domestic EIN, or the domestic estate.
The W-9 is so they can report the proper tax. It's all just whatever kind of business you're doing through the securities. Everything's going to be gift and estate taxes and generation skipping transfer taxes.
Are we going to use the foreign grantor or the domestic?
The domestic is in the foreign grantor's trust.
Okay, I have a domestic trust, I have a foreign grantor trust, I have a domestic estate, and I have a foreign grantor estate.
Well, your domestic estate should be the 82 number, right?
My domestic estate is a 90-6.
All right, so see, I have the 82 number, and then you link and then I have my 82 and my 98 number. See how because they had the Sesta trust, and then your estate, your straw man was within the trust. So, but we're not the grantors or the creators of it. So you already had your 98. All you need is your 82 and your 98.
Okay.
That's all you need, because once you get your death certificate and you do your liquidation on the 966 form, when you go, you need to go through probate court and get your letters testamentary saying that you're either the authorized representative or the executor for that account. And then you open up, that's when you start opening these bank accounts with your 82s. You get your Treasury Direct account through Fidelity.
100%.
Fidelity has all the different medallion stamps.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When you say the 82, that's just that's an internet. That's when you get a tax ID through the internet. What type of entity is attached to the 82? Is it a trust or an estate?
It's an estate.
Okay, estate. Yeah.
There's 82 series because there's more than that. There's 81s, 82s, 83s, etc.
Those are all internet ones. Yeah. The death certificate. How is that issued? How do we get that issued? We go in a petition.
Okay, so the death certificate, you get an affidavit of death, and then there's.
Or I issue it.
You write your own. I'll send it to you. You write up I'll show you mine. Amy Jordan has a good affidavit of death as well.
Okay.
Tito,
Yeah.
real quick, this is Jerome. This FINS, I keep on seeing everybody talking about that, and I'm probably coming a little late on that. Where do I go to get that?
DTCC.com. Just type in FINS application FINS application PDF DTCC, and it'll come right up.
All right, thank you.
If you put your email in there, I'll send you the text for the email that she sent me.
Awesome. Okay.
So your
death certificate is you need the coroner's seal. The vital statistics has a death division. That's where the big coroner is. So you send your affidavit, your living will, and if you went through probate, your letters testamentary.
Okay.
And then I'm calling them tomorrow, and I'm going to see if I need the letters testamentary, because if not, I'm ready to send my stuff out. If I do, then I'm going to just go through the probate court.
So we just
What
acknowledge.
happens is, this is what happens. Your full-time job is managing the estate, and the executor pays himself for that. He has fees. How much are you going to pay yourself a year? The $11 million. And then the way you claim it is you do an unconditional donation. Okay? The negative checks that I showed you guys, you write your negative check. The memo is going to be to reduce public debt. You get a registered mail number that registers it. That's how you make private funds public. You do a negative 1041. 2 negatives make a positive. You register it on the UCC, which puts a maritime lien on it through a UCC-1. Then you assign it to Steve Mnuchin or Raul Maldonado. Then, to do the claim, now you're claiming your money back, your recoupment. You 1099-A it. Your registered mail number will be the account number. 1096. And then you send them the form, a letter saying, hey, fill out here's the laws. Please fill out the 1099 OID within 15 business days, or I'll file it for you. Then you file the OID. And now the Social Security number is what goes forward, and the recipient's going to be your estate.
And what schedule on the 1041 do we note that OID is a G or B?
Right. So then you fill out your OID with your 8281. How do you get a QSIP number? This is what you're working with the DTCC for. They're walking. So my boy Elliot gets back on the 27th, and I'm working with him through email, and hopefully he's gonna walk me through on how to purchase this QSIP the correct way, because I bought a debt one and I don't know if I did it right, but I purchased one. It's on QSIP.com, and they have all these different options, and I read all the different options, and I just felt the one that best suited me was there's like a debt one, annuity one, and then I forget. I'm not too familiar with the website. But anyways, 8281. And then you claim it through a 706, 1041, and a Schedule K1. And that's how you get your treasury check, and that's how you get your funding. This is how you fund your estate, your businesses.
Are we issuing a K1 or are we receiving a K1?
Issuing it. You got to fill it out.
From who to who? From who to the 1041 person? Who's it from? I'm not trying to grill you. I'm just trying to get the flow in my head.
It's from the all-cat name going. Okay, so it's from your straw man that had the social.
Okay, Strawman Social K1 to
Right,
the
because
1041.
my checks, even it's the Social Security number is still there. It's still live. It's still passed through account, and it's tied to my 82. And on my checks, it has my Social Security number and then my routing number to St. Louis Federal Reserve. So it goes from the issuer is the straw man with the social, and then the recipient is your estate, the 82.
You don't need a third party intermediary guarantor to make sure it doesn't get run away. When quadrillion, gazillion, gagillion dollars, shouldn't there be an intermediary in there in that transfer?
DTCC.
Okay.
The DTCC and Fidelity is what we're going to be working with the most.
Yeah, the gatekeepers. Otherwise,
Yep.
you could run away and put a gazillion zeros on something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how you get your funding every year, because you guys are executor beneficiaries, and that's how you pay out the estate. Estate and Trust Administration for Dummies explains it, how to fill the forms out. Gene has the videos on the 706, 709. Holmes F. Crouch fills out the 1041, and it shows how the executor pays the beneficiaries. I can have a class on it once I do mine. I'm doing the 706 this week, the 1041 Schedule K1. I mean, I might as well just record it as I'm doing it and thinking out loud. Because sometimes I forget to take pictures or write notes down. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes. But the reason, so back to the foreclosure, the reason why we're registering these notes is it's putting the maritime lien on it, which makes them negotiable. The assignment will always be to the Treasury or the CFO of the bank. Either way, they're responsible to pay on it. But for what I've been learning from the checks that I've been sending, the checks that I've been creating, I have to be assigned to the Treasury, because the Treasury is obligated to discharge your debt. I have the codes for Secretary, Department of Transportation. It's all in my commercial notes. It's all right there. But the Treasury, Title 31, Section 31, USC 3123, the United States is obligated to discharge all debt dollar for dollar. And then, so ICC, the Social Security Administration Commissioner, IRS Commissioner, Currency Comptroller, Secretary, Department of Agriculture, and Secretary, Department of Transportation. I don't worry about the criminal investigation department until I know that I've been royally screwed over or they stole my property. See, the reason why most of they're not returning, see, you guys are creating negotiable instruments and sending them out, but you're not claiming them back or putting liens on them, so they're live, but they're just sitting there waiting to be claimed. And that's why in banks they have the 36-month trial period. They wait 3 years for you to claim your abandoned securities. And I get it, everybody hires the lawyer, and the lawyer, the way they set it up, they set the bank up as the trustee and beneficiaries. And you're just a non-disclosed third party to an investment contract. But the main purpose in a foreclosure and going to court is controlling your securities, redeeming your bonds, standard form 24, 25, 25A. And then the Miller Act bonds in federal court are 273, 274, 275. I've seen Jonah use those bonds, and then I've seen Patrick Devine use the 1414s, the 1416s, and 1418s. Both are payment bonds, performance bonds, etc. Both sets, or all three sets, I'm sorry. So because Patrick Devine says we're contractors. And you know what I mean? That's what all this is. It's contracts. All court is contracts, and it's the bank. That's where you get paid at. And federal court is where you get your discharges, your recoupments.
PJ, did you ever get a CCR number when you set up your SAM.gov account and get your cage code and everything? Did you get a CCR number?
Okay, so the girl that set up my account, right, because this is what I'm talking about, every now and then an angel will come by and say, you got this account for this? And I'm like, yo, where the hell are you reading this stuff? Or whose class are you in? And she never says anything, you know what I mean? Or he, and so she set up my fins, and then she set up my SAM stuff, but I guess she didn't put my email in right. So she has the cage code, but I didn't get my email. So now I have to call them and do my email to get my cage.
Okay. You also there's a contractor's number, a CCR number.
Okay, I'm right. Hold on, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah. When I did the grants at the OAG, Attorney General's office in Florida, you had to have a CCR number before you could partake in one of the government grants.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
No shit. All right, hold on. Dan, let me grab a pen. I don't know why I did my pen just
Need a DUNS number and an EIN number. I'm not sure which EIN number to use on my SAM.gov, the 98.
82. Use your estate for everything. You sign it as the estate.
For the business entity, use the estate?
Yes.
Because the estate can be a trust and a trust can be a estate. It can be an estate.
It all operates the same.
It can be, but sometimes I have an estate that's administered by a trust. So if the trust gets sued, the estate can't be taken. So I've done business in different ways because the trust is just administering someone else's beneficial estate. That way it prevents any taking. So
right.
So I'll go ahead and use the 90-6 trust EIN as a state EIN. Use that business entity.
Okay.
Domestic. Okay.
All right, I got you. That's fine. As long as you know how to use that as the pass-through, because I'm using my 82 because it's attached to my social still, and the social's still alive, and that's my domestic trust, and then I have I'm getting I have to go down to IRS and figure out. Does anybody know the Ohio IRS number for? That's where all the estate is handled in Ohio.
I don't. I'll look
They're
for it.
breaking my bam. They break my B so bad. But see, all my calls get routed. It's not like I get in touch to speak to these IRS agents and stuff. My shit just gets routed right to the van. You know what I'm saying?
Are you gonna have a flow through from the domestic trust estate and have it flow out to the foreign grantor trust estate?
Yes.
So the foreign grantor trust will have an estate EIN, and that estate EIN will be under the trust and estate domestic.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right. Can you guys see me?
Yep.
All right. So this is when I'm talking about going through probate and getting your letters testamentary. This is the book. See, I can't see myself, so I don't know if I can.
Yeah, a little bit to the right.
You might have to pin the
There you go.
video.
There you go. You got it. Wills and estates and trusts. Is that
Yeah, this is the yeah. This is one that Gene tells everybody to read. And then the first chapter, all right, it starts on page 7. First 7 pages, it goes 1 through 10. The probate process, step by step, right? And then step one is finding the house, creating your will. Okay, step 2 is starting the probate of the estate. Step 3 is notice to heirs and interested parties, or you guys, us. We were the heirs and we're successors, executors and authorized representatives. We're the lien creditor and entitlement holders.
What's the title of the book, please?
Wills, Estates, and Trusts. And that's by Alexander A. Bove, B-O-V-E.
And it's the white covered one. There's the older version. There's a newer version.
Yeah, but how come I can't see myself? Usually I got like a little on the side or something, but I don't have anything.
There's on the side, yes.
Oh, here I go. I'm all the way at
speaker
the
view.
top. I got hair sticking out the side. If you couldn't tell me.
You look good. Don't worry about it.
Come on, man. All right, cool. Now I can see what's going on. All right. So step 4 is going to be the appointment of the executive administrator, and that's the important one. And this book goes over thoroughly everything. Okay, and then step 5 is filing your estate inventory, which is going to be all your assets, which is your birth certificate, social security numbers, any kind of defaults that you have, marriage licenses, driver's license. Step 6 is your payment of claims. It is only within the period that the creditor may make a formal claim against the estate. And state courts are fairly strict on this point. The executor, however, has an obligation to all known creditors and to make a reasonable effort to identify creditors so that they will have the opportunity to file a claim within a special period. And what are we claiming? Just your assets. Everything is bequested. Bequest. Step 7, payment of debts, fees, and expenses and taxes. So anything, this is when you're in court and you can start assigning negotiable instruments privately to the judge. Or you can do the negative check, negative 1041, UCC1, assign it to the Treasury. Step 8, filing the estate tax returns. That's your 706, 709, 1041. Those are the forms that you're going to file every year. Well, not if you don't want to file it every year, you can do it every 3 years. Whatever your estate pays out throughout the year, say if you paid out $1 million or $100,000, you get 65% back, so you get 65 rags back. Because everything is taxed, because everything is prepaid. So when you're paying for something, you're being taxed. They're taxing the shit out of you because everything is prepaid. That's why when you go in the grocery store, you have a receipt. You can take that receipt, sign it, put your acceptance on it, turn it on the back, special deposit, special purpose, and they can take that as a cash payment. But, I mean, going in there at 12 o'clock lunchtime and trying to do that on a receipt, this because eventually that gets to the CFO, and the CFO contacts you. Step 9, giving the beneficiaries their money. That's you guys, us. And then 10 is closing the estate, Form 966. Right? And then Patrick Devine has, I got a, here, you guys want to see Pat's stuff that I have? I'm sure you guys all have Pat's stuff. I'll show you what I'm talking about, because he has some real, because you guys are, from what I'm reading, we have to do a military discharge. You're all part of the military, right? So that's part of the renunciation, the expatriation.
We talk about undoing the the selective service that we did at the post office. We have to rescind that, or
no? Let me see if you know this one. The DT 214 form, I think.
Oh, the DD 214.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also rescinding the selective service.
Nice. There's some document floating around that's supposed to like, I don't know who you would send it to that rescinds your signature from all your contracts, but
I don't know, that kind of blanket thing.
I don't know too much about rescission of signature and how to verify it.
I'm just claiming back I'm getting a certified copy of the selective service application, which is a credit line, and I'm just getting it authenticating and taking it back.
Gotcha. All right, so there's there's a letter of credit. This is UCC Article 5. Hold on. People gotta be bullshit. All right, so these are the books that I've been reading lately. I'll show you what the sauce is. So, all right.
That's Article 5.
Letters of credit.
That's Article 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Letters of credit.
Yeah. UCC Article 5, letters of credit. And I'll read out some. Go ahead.
I think the application, anytime I do an application for anything, I think that application is a letter of credit because that creates the credit line.
Right.
That,
it has to be, and then it has to be a document of title.
Mm-hmm. And then they create the credit line on the back end that is then to set off for any of the vendors' payouts, and they send you a statement of how much credit they've used from your credit line created by that application letter of credit. That's what I see.
Can you repeat that?
It's recorded, oh boy. Oh, is she recording this? I don't see the record sign.
An application.
I'll make sure she's recorded.
The application for any application is an application for credit. So filling out the application is an Article 5 letter of credit, and it has the name and social. So that's transferred to some pass-through entity, or then they're going to do the monetization or creating the account that is credited to then be the prepayment for the electricity, the prepayment for your Visa card, prepays everything, that credit line for that account.
Yes.
So you have
that's why when people lease their cars, it's all paid for at signing.
So with your credit card, it's not like the bank takes money out of its account and pays the vendor. You have a secret bank account behind your Visa card. And so when you swipe your card, the bank goes and says, okay, we're taking from this bank account behind the Visa card and we're transferring it to the vendor, and they send me a statement of how much of my credit has been transferred. And then they want me to settle the books. And so both sides are my credit. That's why I add the charges and the payments together and put them on a W-4 to show how much withholding they've done. And that's what I do with my payments. And that way, but by putting down the W-4, I'm looking at it as when I do the W-4 and I put all how many charges I did this month and how many payments on the credit card when I add them together. And by putting them on a W-4, saying that's been withheld and it's exempt, that means I get it back. That means I'm the creditor.
Right.
If they're withholding it, I'm the creditor.
How's that process been working for you? Because I know you've had some success with it.
Oh yeah, the all of a sudden LexisNexis is calling me again and trying to get in contact with me, and they're still jerking me around. So I'm gonna have to do some harder stuff with them. And
Yeah?
I'm now going to do the it's a 3-year contract, so it's $33,000 for 3 years for the
Right.
for the Lexus Nexus. And I
Mhm.
sent the CFO, and he's still playing hardball, so I'm going to have to fence in him or FINRA the guy, and they sold off part of the debt to some debt collectors, and I'm hitting them with all kinds of hardcore stuff, and it's been sold once already. So, but realize I already discharged it with the W-4 and the 1099-A and the 1040-V. It's already been taken care of, and they sold it anyway. So now they're transferring fraudulent securities because it's already been claimed.
Yep.
So I'm gonna have to fence in them. But and these are lawyers too. They all suck. But as far as I'm about to do, I rent here because it's so I'm gonna do my rent where I rent. I'm gonna W-4, 1099-A, and 1040-V, all the rent I've given them, the statements plus the payments, both sides of the equation. It's $100,000 for past 2 years, so that'll be $100,000 W-4 withholding, $100,000 1099-A, and $100,000 1040-V. And I'm gonna go recoup, and I'll let you guys know how that goes.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, my Social Security benefit, like it's going to be there after 2022. They've already slated it to go away in 2022. But in the meantime, that's my Social Security benefit's up to $3,200 now. So it's going up all the time because they have to withhold 13% of that withholding and put it into Social Security Medicare.
Nice. Amazing.
Anyway, back to you, PJ.
I love it. All right. So I'll just read a little paragraph that kind of pertains to what we were just talking about. An issuer that pays under a commercial letter of credit upon presentation of a negotiable bill of lading should have a lien against that document and therefore should be able to realize on that document and the goods covered by the document if an applicant fails to reimburse the issuer because of the transaction costs involved in exercising control over the goods and arranging for their disposition. However, the issuer's lien on the document it receives from the beneficiary is usually of uncertain value and therefore of secondary importance to an issuer. There, so you have to have a lien on all this stuff. So there's 5. This is an important one. Documents of title. This will go over your birth certificate. This will go over purchasing. This will go over how the bill of sale becomes a document of title and becomes a negotiable document for the banks.
This planet, and it's your commerce.
And then this is your secured transactions. I got 3 books coming just on these. So this is the revised one. This is another one for UCC.
Okay.
Somebody has an open mic.
Steve, turn your mic off. This is an important one. This is how this goes over court. This goes over securities. This goes over brokers. This goes over here, I'll go over the chapters with you. I'll tell you what it goes over. All right, so it goes direct and indirect holding systems, relationship of issuer and owner and the transferee. So that's why you want to be the transfer agent at the DTCC. Chapter 3 goes in transfers in the direct holding system. So when I say lodging securities, holding systems, this is securities. Chapter 4 is the indirect holding system. Chapter 5, security interest in investment property. Chapter 6, choice of laws and complementary regimes. It goes into all that stuff. Article 3, negotiable instruments, bank deposits and collections and other modern payment systems. And then I think I just dropped 4A, which is, no, here's 4A. 4A is transfers. So you want to do a wire transfer, because when you guys go buy cars and stuff, they're going to ask for wire transfers and shit. It goes over how to do all that. All right, and then
where do you get those books?
Amazon.
Thank you.
Ooh. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about, they go over the K1 and stuff, and how to claim your the tax credits. Let me see if I remember it. I think it's 320, 322. Don't quote me. Hold on. Okay. There's this K1 and then general information. If you want, you can compare Schedule K1 Form 1041 to a giant combined Form 1099 and Form 1098. And like Forms 1099 and 1098, it contains much of the same identifying information on the Schedule K1. The Schedule K1 allows your beneficiary to separate his or her income distribution into all sorts of income received by the trust or estate. Schedule K1 form is an attachment to Form 1041, and you must distribute a copy of it to income beneficiaries no later than the due date for Form 1041, as extended. Don't delay in sending these out. Remember, the beneficiaries can't prepare their 1040s until they receive their K1s from you. You're basically just mailing your own estate to your own tax return to yourself. Okay, in part 1, fill out the tax identification number, your 10, the name of the estate. See, then it goes into every single part section. I'm not going to go into everything. So in part 1, fill out the tax identification number, 10, the name of the estate or trust, and the fiduciary, trustee, or executor's name. So that was your name would be the executor name. So it'd be part 1, number A, estate or trust, your EIN, so that's your 82 number. Then it goes into B, it says estate or trust name, that's your all cap name with estate at the end of it. 3 is your fiduciary's name title, so that's where you would put your suite address. You would have to done your change of address already and take your change of address, right? Remember, is from vital statistics to your suite number, because all your mail has been going to vital statistics, and now it has to go to your suite where you're doing business at. Okay, so
How difficult is that to do, to change the your address to the suite number?
it's free, and it takes 2 minutes. I can pull it up right here if you want me to go over it real quick.
Yeah, I need to see that.
All right, that's fine. Let me finish reading this. I'll go over it. Sean, I'll let Sean go over it because Sean is the beast at it, and Sean's the one that showed me how to do it. And Sean will show you how. I'll pull up this new executor Form 56 that I've seen. If I could pull it up on my, see, because Laurel has all my stuff organized. You know what I mean?
I'm here.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I just came. So.
Hotep, my G. Can you pull up the new Form 56 with the executor, and then Sean be able to explain this shit too? All right, I'm sorry, let me finish reading this paragraph. Let me reread this paragraph for you guys, and I'll go over the parts I'm talking about. All right, hold on. Never mind, let me finish reading it before I fuck up. All right, so in part 1, fill out the tax identification number, the name of the estate or the trust, and the executor name. All right, so you have the opportunity to check the box to indicate whether and when you filled out the Form 1041T. Allocate an estimated tax payments to beneficiaries. Under Title 26, Section 643G. Then, okay, so then it gets in. I just skipped a couple pages, but this explains. It goes over the ins and outs of the K1. Once I fill out my stuff, I'll have a class on it, and I'll show you how I filled my stuff out. And then hopefully that's it, man. Everybody can retire after that. You know what I mean? Because once I've done it, everybody else done it, right? So right here it says credits. This is where I'm reading from. I'm reading the credit part of the Schedule K1. And it says credits. All right, so credits, the dollar for dollar offsets against tax that are so valuable to taxpayers don't appear frequently on Schedule K1. but that doesn't mean they're not available. The back of a Schedule K-1 has a list of credits a trust or estate may pass through to its income beneficiaries. You may marvel at the number, even though you wonder how a trust could ever generate an orphan drug credit. Here are the two most common. First one is credit for estimated taxes. In Part 1 information about the estate or trust, we introduce you to Form 1041-T. And the election that a trust or estate may make to pass estimated taxes, it's paid out to its income beneficiaries. If you made the election is 8832 and then Title 26, Section 2032, subsection A. Again, the election is the 8832. That's classification of entity. And the election is Title 26, United States Code 2032, subsection A. Hold on. I think I'm playing with them all.
You talk about the alternate valuation of an estate, 2032A.
Yeah.
Generation skipping and the skip generation.
Yeah, can you still see my screen, or that I'm going on my screen?
No, I'm going to share mine. Hold on.
Okay, good. Yeah, because see, you know where my stuff is, huh?
All right, I got a, let's see, you said 56 form.
You know what we'll go over right now? Pull up the IRS executor. That's what I wanted to go over. And that has some good information in it.
IRS executor.
Yeah. Great find. And this will kind of explain. Yeah, hand this out to everybody. This is a good one right here. We'll go over it briefly real quick.
All right.
Then we'll get back to the foreclosure. We'll go over court etiquette, and then we'll wrap it up. Because I know it's been a long day for you, sweetie pies.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here, my G.
Of course, my G. Always.
All right. Let me finish reading this two little paragraphs, and then we'll begin this.
All right.
I was just kind of showing them the books and stuff for where I'm getting all this information from. And this is books that Gene has suggested, like the Alexander A. Bove books. Here, let me grab the other two books that are that show the bill of complaint and other things.
They have been stonewalling me to get my IMF, my individual master file, my business master file. They are jerking me around.
I got that. The Freedom of Information Act with a 4506T.
Yep.
And,
Yep, I've done that. Yeah, they did that with a. Yeah, all they do is just send me nonsense. They don't cough up the encoded BMF, IMF.
Send them then your UCC1 security agreement.
All right.
This one's a boss boy one. A real boss boy one. This goes into everything that I talked about with court. I got from Gene and this book. Everything in court. So it has federal rules. All right, so I'll show you the sauce. Right, I'll go right. Page 4, piracy statutes. These are huge.
What's the name of that book again?
Yeah.
What's the name? Admiralty Maritime Administration Law in the Court. Admiralty and Maritime Law in the United States. Okay. Statutory supplement. Thank you. Statutory.
This goes over. I'll go over the important chapters that it has, okay? So that's piracy statutes, Title 18. So when you're going for your bill, this is what we've added to our bill of complaint, these piracy statutes, because it's all pirates. And what's happening is, I'll show you later, it's called a shipwreck. It's shipwrecked, right? So the vessel that they're damaging is your ship.
Okay, just muted.
Okay, so the insurance and all is you're insuring your ship. All these indemnity bonds, insurity bonds. It's for insurance for your vessel, your ship. Your all cap name. It's a ship. It's all seawater over here. And the cops, they take your ship and they bring you to the dry dock, right? If you look at federal courts in Florida, whatever, it shows you it's a ship. You know what I mean? It's all admiralty. They bring you to the dry dock, right? And that's why the judge needs a letter of marque. The letter of marque gives him permission to start creating basically negotiable instruments in your name, or you know what I mean, stuff like that. That's what the letter of marque is. All right, piracy. Don't take my word for it. I'm not an expert on the letter of marque. I learned the letter of marque from Gene. Okay, that was page 4. Page 9. Then it goes in the federal tort claims. Okay.
Eric.
Then you want your restitution. This is part of compensation.
I need to send him a message.
This is stuff you don't hear anybody talking about within the Admiralty and stuff like that. Nobody talks about this stuff. This was a good read, the Abandoned Shipwreck Act, and this is a vessel that's damaged and it's stuck on the land.
Peter, can you show me the cover of the book again, please? Appreciate it. Thank you. And all.
Yeah, so it's statutory supplement to Admiralty and Maritime Law in the United States, 3rd edition. So the Abandoned Shipwreck Act is, it's a pretty cool read. Federal Employees Liability Act is another good one that I'm finding out. Very, very, very good act. Okay. Maritime Personal Injury Statute of Limitations. That's when you start getting Title 46. Then it gets into the Admiralty Extension Act. You have 3 years. This was another good read. I'm rereading this one right now. It's the Death on High Seas Act. I just wanted to see if that had anything to do with death certificates. And but it has short title. It has cause of action in here. When the death of an individual is caused by a wrongful act, neglect, or default occurring on the high seas beyond 3 nautical miles from the shore of the United States, the personal representative of the decedent may bring a civil action in Admiralty against the person or vessel responsible. The action shall be for the exclusive benefit of the The action shall be for the exclusive benefit of the decedent's spouse, parent, child, or dependent relative. Limitation. This is another one, a good one, Harder Act. It's a great book. I mean, it really is. It's stuff that I've never seen before. And this is where it starts getting to the boss stuff. And this is how you sue your judges, politicians, courts. It's you sue them in suits in Admiralty. And this is where I learned from Gene Keating. They can't hide behind their sovereignty, so you go after them in their personal capacity through their through suits in Admiralty. They can't hide behind sovereign and the Sovereign Immunities Act. Can't hide behind it. They still got insurance. They're still gonna pay out on insurance. But I mean, if you have like a really bad debt collector and you put the affidavit together with your fee schedule, which automatically puts a lien on them if you send them to the state insurance commissioner, and then you default them, then that's when you can start attaching bank accounts, property, and foreclose on them. But suits in Admiralty, waiver of immunity, section 30903, it's all in Title 46. Exclusive remedy, Title 46 USC section 30904. And so here's the definition in that one. If a remedy is provided by this chapter, it shall be exclusive of any other action arising out of the same subject matter against the officer, employee, or agent of the United States or federally owned corporation whose act or omission gave rise to the claim. Boom. Venue. This is, okay, so venue. Your venue, you can find your venue. Title 46 USC 30906, subsection A. In general, civil action under this chapter shall be brought in the district court of the United States for the district in which any plaintiff resides or has a principal place of business, or 2, the vessel or cargo is found. I'll read that again. Title 46 USC section 30906, subsection A states, in general, a civil action under this chapter shall be brought in the district court of the United States for the district in which, number 1, any plaintiff resides or has his principal place of business, or number 2, the vessel or cargo is found. And it goes into the next section, 3090, procedure for hearing and determination. And Gene talks about you want to be in rem. You want an in rem. And that's subsection B, in rem. See, it's all right here in this book. In rem. So then we go over here. Then it says requirements. And this is what Gene talks about in every single one of his videos when he talks about people don't read.
Choose to be silly.
Steve.
Choose to be rules.
Okay, and then look at the next section, 3090, exemption from arrest or seizure. You seeing that? That's what I mean. 309, Title 46, USC 30913. Payment of judgment or settlement. Then it goes into the general and source of payment. Payment shall be made from appropriation or fund available specifically for the purpose. If no appropriation or fund is specifically available, there is hereby appropriated out of money in the treasury, not otherwise appropriate, an amount sufficient to pay the judgment or the settlement. Everything, because everything comes out of the IMF, everything comes out of your treasury account. All business. So you're either going to work and pay through your nose out through federal debt notes, or you're going to write them a negotiable instrument, send it to the treasury, have the treasury take care of your bills like it's supposed to be done. But see, a lot of people have they got half foot in the private side, half foot in the public side still. You gotta collapse your shit and start opening all your accounts with your 82. You should get a new social security number that has your 82 number on it, all lower in your lowercase name. If you do the estate, see last week is the first thing I heard was changing your last name or your all cap name to a lowercase name. See, I wasn't going to do that because in our system, nothing's lowercase. It's all recognized. It's all dead. It's all fiction. So the creditor in their system is all capital, last name, first name, middle. That's your private name, last name, first name, middle. And like Sean talked about, on most of these applications that you're going for, or even Social Security or a job, it says last name, first name, middle. So you're already starting off private for them. And that's how they're accessing your estate. Because if you're not going to use your estate, or administer your estate, they will. This is how big businesses expand. They take their employees' unified tax credits and expand with their estate. If they're not going to administer it, well, because people add, well, how come they're not using their estate unified tax credits? I was like, if they wouldn't be working for somebody if they knew how to tap into that. You see what I mean?
I'm even with the belief that there's a demise charter, demise or a bare boat charter, where the federal government for the first 18 years takes the vessel name and every vessel has a name and a number.
Right.
So the name and number vessel is maintained by the federal government until 18, and after that, then it goes into the corporations, or you start doing your own applications for credit lines, and then there's a bare boat charter, like for employment for your age until you're 75. There's a credit line taken out for that full length of the charter, and then I come aboard as a seaman wage earner, a wager on. I'm the wager on the vessel, contributing to the voyage venture, and and so I fill out a time card that goes through the vessel, and that's the cargo being produced in the vessel.
Right,
So,
because the same thing that we're doing. You're the executor. You're managing your vessel. You're upkeeping your vessel. You need to be paid for it.
and so when people leave, that remainder man, that residue of the estate stays where the abandoned with the charter, with the company
Yes.
no longer using the charter, so that residue can still be claimed by the executor of the estate. So
Absolutely.
But the attorneys, the judge has been tapping into our trust all this time. What's the logic behind the lowercase name if you're saying that the all cap
That's
name
how
is
you
only
show you're alive, because the all cap name is a corporation. It's a corpse and it's dead. So if they see a real name, that's because the remember your security agreement. The Secretary of State recognizes the distinguishment between an all cap name and a living person name. Remember the first one that we did?
right, correct.
It has your all cap name, and then when your secure party name, it's uppercase. It's your last name, first name, middle. Hold on, I gotta let the dog out.
It also puts you on the do not detain list.
There you
I
go.
did. My power of attorney that I did, of course, is the all caps name, which I signed for the all caps name. I've done it since ever getting it when I was 13. And so if I can sign for the all caps name, I created a power of attorney under my authority as the authorized agent for the all caps name, and I appointed the baptismal name, upper lowercase baptismal name, as the person in the occupying the office of attorney in fact. And when that upper lowercase name gets entered in the system, there's a ripple effect. Oh, we have a living person now ministering the estate.
And they can't do nothing with it. And the name change, what it does is changes ownership. Because if you look at your birth certificate, what's the first name on there? It's not yours. It's the state's. So who's owning and who's operating that until you step up? So when you do the change, it's literally a change of possession. There's still other steps that have to be taken because you need to be competent on anything that you do.
Right.
You might have got your superpowers handed to you, but if you don't know how to use it, it's not really going to do any good.
All right, so let me throw this into the pot. Where I'm currently an employee, and the company I work for in my current position requires that you be a U.S. citizen. So
Right.
at some point, at some point during the course of this process, that's going to change, is it not?
But I don't know who this you is, but the vessel they're hiring is a U.S. vessel.
Right.
We all know how they play the game. We get the concept that they're talking about the all caps name, but they don't understand that.
They don't have to.
To them, they're looking at
you is plural.
And now I understand why in my hometown area they use the word you instead of you.
Anyway, they hire the vessel as a bare boat charter, and then they need crew to man the vessel. So I come aboard as the Sherman Act wage earner. So I'm the least protected, and I'm the least powerful, from the most protected through the labor board. So make sure I get paid first before anything else gets paid first. That's because of the Sherman Act and the Jones Act, that the seamen on the vessel get paid
Jones
first.
Act.
Yeah, the Jones Act.
I said the Jones Act is in here. Hold on, I just passed it.
Yeah.
This is I've been trying to get a straight comprehension on this for a little while because I want to move forward, but until I get to the point where the executorship has been established and there's no more arguing, and I start seeing something coming into account that can support my family, I can't risk that. I can't risk that quote unquote income source for all that fiat.
Well, I'm still contributing because in maritime contribution and indemnification, contribution is an extreme form of indemnification, and indemnification is an extreme form of contribution. So all my labor, all my time commodity put on a manifest signed both the producer of the time commodity and the recipient, the manager, on that time card manifest is then that's the extreme form of contribution, which we can claim back, of course. So
I get what you're talking about in concept. The rub is that at the same time, when you're dealing with, I work in a position where there are securities that are in place. If you don't have that title,
Mark, can you speak a little bit louder, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to quit my job anytime soon. I'm not jumping up.
What I'm saying is that if I do it wrong and I'm not able to get them to acknowledge the realities as they truly are, they can hold up my securities, which means I can't do my job, which eventually means in fairly short order, I lose my job.
I don't know what would precipitate that act. I don't know what would precipitate such a thing.
Because they have literally locked everybody in my area into a statement that says, I understand that if I am not a U.S. citizen, I cannot continue in my position.
Okay, which of the 5 definitions of U.S. citizen, or which 6 classes of U.S. citizen are they talking about? Yeah. You can elect one.
Yeah, well, in there's where I'm getting ready to start getting into HR, because and the other part of the problem is that they moved a good portion of HR into India.
I wouldn't touch it. I would just go with it, let them presume whatever they want, and you just know your truth. I wouldn't dig with them at all.
Right. Don't go digging up. No.
Don't be different.
So basically, just give them the law and let them figure it out.
Don't give them anything. Just sign the form and let them run with it.
Right. Okay. Look, my man. Everyone has the right to contract. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's up to you if you want to accept those terms and conditions. Just don't forget who you are. You are not it. So I wouldn't be concerned. It's your vessel. You're on water and you need to get somewhere. You're not going to walk through water or walk on water. You need your vessel. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Absolutely.
I like I said, I get what you guys are saying, and I do comprehend it. I'm just trying to figure out how to get from Europe to America without drowning.
Nothing's going to change. I mean, using that vessel that way, it's not going to change anything. But you start rocking the boat, and they're going to throw you offboard. They're going to throw you overboard. So, and again, it doesn't. Even if you were right about it, the mechanics don't change. So just let the mechanics run as they are, because you're underwriting everything. You have a strong arm clause underwriting everything they do by evidence by that birth certificate shows.
Gotcha.
You're underwriting it, and so you have a mandatory counterclaim under Rule 13, a strong arm clause, and an agricultural lien, which is higher than a tax lien. So I would just let them run with whatever they think the truth is, because in fiction land, the facts are on the moon. It doesn't matter. It comes down to whoever the creditor is, and I'm the creditor by a strong arm clause with an agricultural lien.
And I'll be honest, I had forgotten to account for the agricultural lien.
There you go.
Awesome.
And by the way, never go to HR. They're not your friend. They're to protect.
Oh, hell no. I got that a long time ago.
Word.
Yeah. HR, human resources, cattle, chattel. Yeah, no.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you, Mark. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Oscar.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so, no, you're good. I love it. I just want to stay on track, though, for everybody. Public Vessels Act. Okay, this is another one that Gene talks about. Very important. So if you go into Title 46, Section 31102, this is the waiver of immunity. Subsection A in general, a civil action in personam. An admiralty may be brought or an impleader filed against the United States for 1. Damages caused by a public vessel of the United States, or 2. Compensation for towage and salvage services, including contract salvage, rendered to public vessels of the United States.
Okay, I'm laughing.
And then subsection B is your counterclaim or set-off. If the United States brings a civil action in admiralty for damages caused by a privately owned vessel, the owner of the vessel or the successor in interest may file a counterclaim in personam or claim set-off against the United States for damages arising out of the same subject matter. And then it goes into the applicable procedure, which is section 31103. Okay. This is all part of the foreclosure because this, you know what I mean? Because you're going after the companies. Your ship is ruined. Your vessel is wrecked. And you're going to be putting a bill of complaint in through your count. This is your counterclaim. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure Rule 13. You have a mandatory counterclaim. So if the bank or the foreclosing company sends you the complaint, then that's where your automatic counterclaim comes in. This is our bill of complaint. But the other two classes we're showing was how we take control over the trust, and then how to take it back and put them in breach of trust due to non-performance. Okay. Then you default them, and then I'll show you guys how to write these checks, create these checks, assign these checks, because I think that's the real way to do them is do the negative check, negative 1041, 1099A, everything, and that way, that's your recoupment. Federal Maritime Lien Act, Ship Mortgage Act, these are good ones. Let me get through this. Let me get to page 70 something. And here you go. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, and this walks you through all the steps. This is how you come into court, special appearance. This is how everything. This is how we're handling foreclosures, child support, traffic tickets, anything through the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Because everything, like I just went over, is you put everything in district court. Because Title 28 USC Section 1333 gives the district court original jurisdiction. Okay, so it goes into Federal Rules of Civil Procedure Rule 4K. But the most important ones, because Gene talks about your negative averment, that's Rule 9. So then we go down to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure Rule 9H. It's admiralty and maritime claims, or claimants, or injured parties, or claiming. And then it goes over Title 28, Section 1292. It's all in this book, everything.
PJ,
yeah, go ahead, Con.
Hi there. Hello. Was wondering, my court is on the 27th of this month. But it's going to be on the phone. Am I needing to pretty much?
Yeah, I'll be on the phone with you.
Oh, you are? Thank you.
Your private counsel.
What's the cause of action? Oh, the foreclosure?
Yeah.
Yes.
And like we know, the foreclosure, that means that they have the note. That's what they're foreclosing on. So that's why we're filling in the 1099As. We're acquiring everything.
If they say there's a debt, then there must be the credit, and I must be the creditor.
Right. Right. So it goes into, and then this is the important one. Rule C's, actions in rem, special provisions, because you want in rem action. And then if you go back to, I think, like my second video, when I pulled up Gene's overview of admiralty, it goes into all this. And this is where I reverse engineered Gene from. That's all I did is I stopped listening to everybody else. I took Gene's word as gospel because Gene had a RICO charge. And then I found out he was out teaching 4 months later. And I was like, well, Mafia Dons fear the RICO charge. So I need to know what he knows. And then I started learning all this beautiful wisdom along that goes with everything, and then actually being a man and administrating your estate. Now I'm out here helping people. And it's the furthest thing that I had ever thought I'd be doing, but it's worth getting up for every day. I'll tell you that. and then just working with everybody. It's just fun. It's fun for me. Better than hustling.
You're awesome.
Thanks, guys. All right. So that's that book, and it has more sauce into it. But that's the most important chaps in there. I'm just showing you that where it is in all these books and where I'm getting the information from. That's all. And then so I began this book before this one. A treatise on equity jurisprudence. So this gets into equity and representing yourself. Okay, it's a pretty thick book, but it reads small. You know what I mean? Because it's got the notes for this. Yeah, so some pages it has like a paragraph at top, but it has notes and cases underneath. So it's not as long as you think it is. It's long, but you just have to read the top, and then if you need a case reference or something, you can read the bottom of it, the footnote part of it. But I mean, it goes into why they created the courts, and they created the courts strictly for human development. And this is where you enter the gates of heaven, is through the court systems. And this is all the gatekeepers and stuff. You have to handle yourself as a gentleman through court. And as long as you can handle your affairs as a gentleman through love and light, then you're able to enter the gates. And that's why, I forget the Bible stories. I should have them remembered by now. I talk about them so much. But what's the one with the two brothers hammer? They kill each other. They're not two brothers. It's the same person with a trade name. And he killed off. They did what we're doing. We're doing affidavit of death. And you're killing yourself off.
Cain and Abel.
Abel, Cain and Abel.
Yes. So they're the same person. But one had the trade name, killed off the trade name, and that's how you entered he became the executor of the estate. It wasn't about handing down the heir. It was about the affidavit of death and becoming the executor and beneficiary of your estates. Because that's what I don't get into it. But the other one is this one. This is where you get your bill of complaint. We went over this one. And that's the stuff. This is the ones that I read. This is where, I mean, for where you guys are between the ABC books and the books I just showed you. Here's the Holmes F. Crouch books. Okay. And then what's that say? How to prepare a 1041, right? It's all in here. It goes over, I mean, each.
That again, pardon me.
This is the Holmes F. Crouch. Holmes F. Crouch.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, and then this is okay, so how to inventory, appraise the decedent's estate, obtain letters testamentary, and settle claims, debts, and taxes. And this is your executor duties. And this will show you how to do your payouts. And this is like, I'm almost prepared to be able to start teaching this stuff to you guys. Because what you guys are going to become, I hope, is become other creditors that want to create other creditors. And then you can start, how Shark Tank is, and we'll invest this much for 20% of you. That's because not everybody's going to be able to learn all this. And that's how you really help people, is you start working with them by becoming an investor for them, because you'll become an accredited investor. And you'll build businesses. But you got to make them work for it. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be handing them a whole new entire life. You guys with the information you have can take a homeless man or woman off the street and make him a billionaire. It's all up here. It's all up here. And then this one just came in. I haven't opened it yet, but I like these ones with these kind of, I forget the author, or the classic reprint series. It's called A Summary of the Law of Set-Offs. And it goes into court procedures and shit like that. I'm excited to read it. It just came in. Set-off and equity. It's all in these books. How do you keep a secret? You put in a book. That's all. That's how they keep all this shit from everybody. It's all there. It's all written down. It's just in books. That's all it is. All right, Laura, you can put that IRS executor up. We'll go over that real quick. We'll go over the foreclosure, pull up the bill of equity. We'll run it down. We'll put a pack together, and then we'll cut it. So that should be like an hour. And then, so just get I have a video from last class that I promised that the people that were in class were going to get, and it's going to go over the 8281. It's going to go over substituting the trustees, revoking the power of attorney, and the OID letter. And I'm going to fill out the OID. I'm going to do you guys will see the UCC ones and the assignment on UCC 3. Me and Laurel are going to record it all for Jay. And then I got Dean's USB and I got Jay's USB. I'm going to do the stuff tomorrow and send them out by Friday for you guys.
The video you're talking about for me, Peter, are you going to send it to me, or is it going to be uploaded for the whole class? Or?
Well, yeah, you'll have everything, but it'll be for the students that paid for the last class.
I record everything, Jay, and then I convert it to a YouTube video and send a private link for that.
No, I'm referring to the one he's talking about with the 8281.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're going to be on the call too, fam. With Flo. We'll get your information that if I don't have everything already, I should have everything already.
All right.
I just got your number. I'll be able to do phone calls next week. It got a little busy, a little hectic this week. And then, so just give me till next week. I can start doing phone calls again with everybody.
Okay.
But Jay, I'll be in touch with you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
That's cool. Guess so. All right. Go down. So this is just explaining the executor for the individual master file. Goes into the manual 6209. I'm not too familiar with the document 7931. Go down. We'll hand this out. So this goes into a brief explanation of what your straw man is, how it's a fiction, legal fiction, boring. You guys know all this stuff. Okay, so there's notice of federal tax lien. So anyone that has ever gotten a notice of federal tax lien has been coded as the trustee of a decedent of an estate. If you receive the notice of federal tax lien, you will see in the column mark type of tax. Look directly under this column. It's a 1040. So the 1040 is a type of tax. Not only is it a form, but they put it a codification in the tax codes. Title 26, you'll see. Go down. Type of tax 1040. After much research on the subject of the IRS placing on notice of federal tax lien, the type of tax is 1040. We now always rebutted this by stating that 1040 is not a type of tax, but a form. It's a type of tax. So go down. And there you go. And so this is the election that they were talking about. Title 26, Section 1040, A, subsection A, general rule. If the executor of the estate of any decedent transfers to a qualified heir, which is us, we're the executor transferring shit to us, with the meaning, qualified heir, okay, so the meaning of the 2032, subsection A, subsection E, subsection 1, any property with respect to which an election was made under the 2032A. Go down. Go down, Laura. Go down.
I think she left the group. I think she.
Nah, we good. Keep going down. The lien this goes into lien indicators. All right, so the transaction code 582 states, all right, right here. What is a 2032A indicator? After researching the 2032A indicator and being unable to understand what a 22 was for many years, we finally found that was who turned the light on. 2032A, evaluation, election agreement. So evaluation of certain farm, etc., and real property. We're farm products and we're the real property. So the subsection D is the election agreement. Subsection 1 of subsection D, the election. The election under this section shall be made on the return of a tax imposed by section 2001. Okay. Subsection A, an imposition. Tax is hereby imposed on the transfer of the taxable estate of every decedent who is a citizen or resident of the United States. Apparently, U.S. citizens are dead. Every decedent who is not every decedent who was dead is usually dead. That was weird. All right, so explanation for Form 56. All right, Laurel, can you pull up the new Form 56? This is how you guys should do your Form 56 is now for your once you've done your executor letters, and this has the RR routes. And I need to talk to Sean because I went and asked the post lady if she knew what the rural routes were. They didn't know what those were. And I don't know too much about them, so I want to see.
Rural routes, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be the way to identify properties before they had formal addresses and zip codes. It was like someone would live on like rural Route 2, and it would just tell the postman where to go. But it was kind of like in the brackets, you know, like around or near, sort of, so to speak, I guess.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
Where 56, where am I looking?
I don't know. I sent it to you in the email because I just got it.
Today?
Remember? No, it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It says boss executor letter or 56. All right, I'm right back to the league.
Laurel?
Yes.
Yeah, I have to step away for a bit. So if he calls my name or anything, and you don't see me answers because I have to step away. I have to take my son somewhere and come back.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna leave the Zoom up and running, but in the meantime, I have to step away in case he comes back.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Max, go lay down.
Suspect.
All right. Did you pull it up yet, or you can't find it?
I can't find it now.
I'll find that. Da-da-da. Office affidavit. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
The new 56 letter.
Nope.
Oh, I'm in the wrong thing.
Is it in one of the file folders?
No, I just got it.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't seen it.
I'm in the emails. Hold on. Bill of complaint. No. Doc stain, child support. No. Marshal service.
Yeah, those are the same ones I have.
All right, there's the 1099A right here. Executor. Type in 847. 847-36955. It came up.
Yep. There you go.
I've never seen this one.
Yeah, see the general post? Address for the person who you're acting. So
can we zoom a little bit?
I want to see what Sean was going to say about the RR-19. Is that rule route 19? I didn't know. That's what I was before I filled it out.
Yeah, I can show you over here.
All right, cool.
I don't think they have a zoom feature on this.
Control plus.
Oh, of course. There you go.
Well, I took my video back out.
Let me see. Record, share.
This is an old form, though.
What's the date on 2007? That's the new one.
I was just the rural routes in the general post office, because you told me the general post office was private. That's how you come in the post office privately. General post.
It's outside the United States, not domestic. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that intrigued me. Yeah, I mean, then I seen the RR, and I didn't know if that meant rural route.
Yes.
Right?
That's old school from like when we were kids. It was like somebody lived on rural route whatever, out on a freaking farm somewhere. So
In publication 28 of the Postal
Doc know
Explorer.
about that.
Hey, be careful there, girl.
Hey, I'm as old as you.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I grew up.
Well, Old State Route 69?
That's in my parents' town in Arizona, Old Route 69.
Oh, does it go through there? No shit.
If you share over here real quick, I'll show you the Postal Explorer that talks about the rural route, RFD.
66 just runs south of here.
Okay.
Do you need to stop share? You want me to?
You had to stop sharing, and then there'll be an option at the bottom, Sean, for you to share. It'll be like a green folder.
Green. There you go. Let me see which one I'm going to do. I have so many windows open.
Sean's got everything.
I'm at work. All right. You can see the...
Yep. There you go.
Okay, I'll put that over there. What do you guys see?
Postal Explorer.
Okay. So it used to be RFD or RD. They say they changed the designation RFD and RD to RR. Now they prefer a rural route. When you want to use this RFD, it becomes RR.
Gotcha.
So that's the rule. That's one rule they changed. Then we go from here. When you go here to USPS.com.
Yep.
You go to Quick Tools, zip code lookup. I'm going to go down here and I put if you have a PO box, even the post office, that building has a.
You can put my PO box in if you want.
Sure. What building? What's the so the PO box? Let's find. Okay, let's find your PO box. We'll get the real address for the postal address. So what's your PO box?
PO box 614.
614. That's in
Marcy, Marcy. New York. And then I don't know the last 5, but the zip 13. Yeah. Oh, 0614.
Okay, 0614. And I want to find the actual building number for. So let's find a post office. Located USPS, and we want to go to Marcy, New York. Let's go find out what there is there.
Yep, 570 Kavanaugh Road.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay, so now let's go look up the zip code now. Zip code now. Find by address. Let's go here. 614 is the POX number, right? And Marcy, New York.
Yep.
Okay. Fine.
13. Oh, that changed. It was 0614, with just the PO box.
Yeah,
now it's 9998.
Yep.
Yeah, because the public is the box number.
So your carrier route here. This is the rural route. RR. This is R is 000 is a rural route. So you would do RR R000 5735 Kavanaugh Road, number 614 Marcy, New York. I do zip exempt without the United States, but this 998 puts it in the Hague, makes it foreign also.
Really?
Yeah. 998 makes it foreign.
So use the 9998 one, not the 0614.
Yeah, the 0614 is domestic, and the 998 is foreign. That's inside the post office. It's actually the cops have no jurisdiction. It's Interpol there inside the post office.
No shit.
Yeah, that's why they have that 9998. Personally, with mine, let me toggle over. Where am I? Where am I? No, not there. Where's my? Go here. Page 5. There we go. You see? Do you see the? What do you see now? The
same thing.
You only see the postal one.
Zip code by address. Still see the rural route.
Why is it pause? Resume share. Okay, so you don't see. Okay, you still see the rural route. Dang, I was gonna show you the. All right, let's go back and do another search. I'll show you what happened with my PO box.
Okay.
Go find here. PO box.
Can we go over the address change?
Yeah, 23455 Creekside Road, 800594, Santa Clarita, California.
Everybody's gonna send love mail to Sean.
245 Creekside Road. That's weird. Oh, 243. That's right. Look how they have the range numbers. This is the PO box range.
Wow.
So I have unit 800594. When I do the 24355, I do unit 800594. That's how they do it there. It's just different. It changes the way they do it. Anyway, so we go over to here. There's 2 postal systems. This is from 1745 to 1875, 1863. That the rate of postage on all domestic letters transmitted in the mails of the United States, not exceeding ½ ounce, shall be uniform at 3 cents. And for each ½ ounce of fraction thereof, there shall be charged an additional rate of 3 cents. That's the U.S. mails. That the rate of postage on all letters not transmitted through the mails of the United States, but delivered through the post office or its carrier routes, commonly described as local or drop letters, not exceeding ½ ounce, shall be uniform at 2 cents. And I can still send 2-cent mail through using the non-domestic mailing address with a rural route.
Yep.
And then down here at the bottom, military personnel. Postmaster General is authorized to provide a uniform regulation for transmitting unpaid and duly certified letters of soldiers, sailors, and Marines in service of the United States to the destination. They don't need to pay any postage. And no one tells these service members this stuff. So this is...
We're postmasters, right? So that's right. And we're foreign agents.
Mm-hmm. Postmaster General.
Okay.
So there we go. And then what was the bingo over here? Form 56. But I don't know how to get my... it's not going to let... What do you see now? It says your screen.
Postal Explorer.
Yep.
I know, but right, I'm trying to show you.
RFD 244 designations for the
What?
RFD. It's the RFD and RR that you originally started on.
Yeah. So let me go here. Let me go here. Share. What do you see now?
Postage paid.
Yep.
I send registered and certified mail free. UPU postage paid. Under 18-1701 obstruction of the mails. This is the International Mail Manual, the IMM. We were looking at the DMM where it talked about RR and RFD. There's an International Mail Manual. It talks about how marking postage paid and parcels without postage stamps. This section tells how to do it. I wrote to the IMF because I'm trying to have them recognize me as one of their foreign agents. And so Ms. Christine Barone, RR, rural route C1700 United States Northwest, zip exempt, non-domestic without the United States because the IMF is a foreign entity. I didn't want to send them a domestic mail piece to a foreign entity. This non-machinable is necessary. And right here under the UPU is where my signature goes. And above the stamp seal, on the right-hand side is where the date goes. You have to put a date up there. And certified or registered mail goes in this blank spot, and it goes through no problem. Here's a certified mail one that I did. I wrote non-machinable because I screwed up. Here's a signature, and here's the stamp, and it went through just fine. And then some fun reading when you want to go to bed. 48 pages on the Universal Postal Union. It's always fun.
I got that.
And anytime I send something that needs to matter to somebody, I don't just send it certified or tracking. I also use a certificate of mailing. It says the named insured of a hearing the named insured requested a hearing to contest the cancellation of his commercial automobile insurance policy for non-payment of premium. The insured denied receiving a notice of cancellation. The company presented the USPS certificate of bulk mailing to document its mailing of the notice. And it goes down here. However, the USPS Form 3817, that's a certificate of mailing for individual pieces, or the 3877.
3817?
Yeah, that's a single certificate of mailing. And the 3877, 3 or more mail pieces of mail. After 3 or more, you get a discount. You can still use the 3877 for a single piece. You just tell them to print a PVI for a 3817 and still use the big form so it stays in one book. But anyway, it says
the 3877, the firm mailing book, right?
Firm mailing book with up to 8 pieces go in there. But they'll say you have to have 3 or more. It says, yeah, to get a discount, just print up a PVI for each one of the 2 I'm putting in there, $1.42 each, and round stuff. Anyway, it says for this insurance case, it says the certificates of mailing are the post office forms for certificate of mailing. Progressive instead used a 3606 certificate of bulk mailing, which is not the same. 3606 does not provide evidence that a piece was mailed to a particular address, which is the whole point of the statutory requirement for a postal certificate of mailing. Wow. Accordingly, Progressive was unable to establish that the notice of cancellation was mailed to the insured and the intended cancellation was not effective. So the return receipt, if you get the little green return receipt card, is one witness, my signing I received it. The certificate of mailing is the second witness statutorily required by the postal agent saying they sent it. So you need 2 witnesses to these mailing things. So the certificate of mailing, statutorily required. If the insurance company lost their ass because of the not using the certificate of mailing, I'm definitely going to use it.
Can you go up to the above top part of this letter, please? I can do it again.
Okay. You want to go do it again? I'll send it out. I have another one where
for you. I've been doing it for the past 3 years, but I do everything: the overnight mail, the priority mail, any of that. It works on everything.
Yeah, with any tracking, even without tracking, you can send a normal letter. Just send a normal letter. You can, without any tracking, you get a certificate of mailing. It's an extra service. There's another case where they sent it certified return receipt, and all they had was the green stub and the green return receipt card, and the judge ruled it's insufficient for proving their case because there was no 3877. They didn't have a second witness.
Wow.
No, I'm talking about that free mailing part. Pardon me for not being clear. I've been mailing it for free for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Utilizing
Awesome.
something similar to that, but I changed mine up a little bit because the signature on there, that's creating another instrument. But there's another one that you can do where you don't actually have to have the signature.
You're doing tax per Q?
Yep.
Yeah. sometimes the clerks will accept this right here, and so it serves my purpose. Another reason I'm doing this non-domestic, and I have a registered mail sent to my non-domestic address, because when I'm doing my postal, my passport change, and I'm going to use a zip code list non-domestic without the United States address, I'm going to bring in this evidence with a 3877 return receipt and the mail piece itself. I'm going to go, here's what the post office says about it. They recognize it. You're going to say the Postmaster General's wrong?
Yeah, right.
You can't tell me this address is not suitable because the post office agrees with me. So I'll send these out. I'll send them over to you, and then you guys can have fun.
Amazing.
So so you go up to the upu.com and you look up the zip code, and the little twisty down there gives you the carrier route, which, as we saw, that's the other mail system. That's not the outside the United States mail system.
Carrier route.
Yep. Because the two that's mails and its carriers are known as a local drop letter, and it's like when you go in the post office, there'll be a little slot in the building, and that's a local drop letter for the carriers. Versus the blue box. The blue box is domestic. The little slot is a local drop letter.
Nice.
Hey, so I'm looking at this private registered indemnity bond, and I'm looking at the rule route numbers in it. So we can't even really get this thing finished without this rule route number.
It's good to have because it keeps it private. But I don't think I have any rule routes on my indemnity bonds. Might be. I don't remember putting RR in my shit.
Well, it says RR right here.
Well, you got mine?
Yeah, man. USPO registered mail number.
Yeah, see, that's your registered mail number, right? So some of them start off as RR or RE or R, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, the registered mail number. Yeah.
Right.
RB.
So that's your your registered mail number becomes your account number, and that's when I was going back into. You take your authenticated certificate of live birth and your birth certificate, and you get a registered mail number. And instead of you putting your birth certificate number for the organization ID, the organization ID will become the registered mail number. Then you take that registered mail and send your UCC1 to your PO box, and now everything is registered.
The record inside the postal service, and you it's good to get all the tracking too. You can go ahead and print all the tracking for the chain of title to show that it's yours.
Right.
It's an extra service. You have to go to the counter and ask for all the tracking.
Right.
Yeah, because they try to do all the tracking electronically now. They try to give you like a receipt, but a printed like digital receipt as opposed to cards or anything. So.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Another thing I did, I created a business account open with that USPS.com, and they gave me a customer relation ID number, a CRID number, and a mail ID number, a CRID and a MID for my different addresses. And there's an email system once you log into the business one, where you can email them from within your business account, and it's tied to your CRID and your MID number. And I write them, and I get a case number right away if these postal clerks try to dick around with me at all. They do.
Every day.
Yep. So getting the business account in there is pretty cool.
Well, yeah, that's how I have mine set up, but I have the estate name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? That's okay. Cool.
I have each of my entities has a different business account.
Got you. I know what you mean.
Do you have one PO box for your business account and one PO box for your private, or is it both the same?
No, it's a central location. I don't think that matters at all. The different business entities. It all goes to that rural route 24355 Creekside Road. I can even there's even a form to have FedEx delivered to the post office. There's a special authorization form that you give to the postal service where FedEx is allowed to deliver to that street address for the post office. Anyway, that's my fetish for postal service.
Love it.
The Postmaster General can serve as a notary.
Good stuff, man.
The Postmaster General can serve as a notary.
Yep.
Yep. The power of the post office. They're an independent third-party tracking number. And when I mail myself a registered mail number, I go back and I send an acknowledgement and acceptance of that grant of that $50,000 registered mail sticker. I acknowledge and accept it because they mailed it out, but it doesn't show who got it. They don't know who got it per se. So I acknowledge and accept it in my proper capacity. And I'm thinking I'm going to go, there's a postal court, USPS postal court. If there's a postal court, that means there's a postal clerk, and I'm going to go register my acknowledgement and acceptances of the register mail stickers, and I'm going to go record it in the post office clerk's office.
Fam, you're all over the place. You're in the postal union clerk. You're in the King's Bench in Pennsylvania. You're in Lord. Like, you're all over, man. Holy shit. I want to see how you did that Lord paperwork, too, because that's cool.
A sovereign certificate? Yeah.
Yeah. I have a declaration of sovereignty, and it has all these stamps and stuff on it. I'll send it to you.
Who recognizes it?
I sent it to Laura. Laura was like, "Whose is this?" And I was like, "I just got it. I gotta look into it. I don't know like the procedure of it and everything is." But I have all the expatriation stuff and renunciations and the step-by-step process for that. And then I have the diplomatic numbers, the consulate numbers, the foreign department numbers.
And how are those used?
Well, I want to go down after I expatriate in Australia. Then I want to see what kind of programs they have. Because I'm working with this dude in Oregon. We're going to be setting up like drive-throughs, dispensaries. He's a beast. Believe me, this dude is up there too. He's in Oregon, and Anil introduced me to him. Our boy Anil in the group. He introduced me to dude, and he's a grower. He's also a civil engineer. He built these huge places out in Oregon. I forget which city he operates in. But he lives at the bottom of a volcano. So like his soil's enriched, you know what I mean, with nutrients and stuff. So he gets really, really good buds, and he wants to do an international trade. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyways, all right, Laura, go back to the IRS stuff. I'm gonna go over court, and we're gonna wrap it up, and then we're gonna send out me and you will go next couple of days. We'll go over the video for the foreclosure, because all I was gonna do was go over the bill of equity, but we'll save that because that's all just reviewing of the notes. I'll go over the bill of equity, then so we'll just set up court for right now.
All right.
That's all I wanted to go. Let them read this. I'm not going to go too much into it. It has really good information on IRS codes, the election. Yeah, you could just. Yeah, I have all the. I don't want any licensing. I don't. You know what I mean? Listen. This is how America works, right? For dope dealers and pharmacists, right? You can either go to jail for selling dope, or you can either work for a store and sell dope. All of the difference between it is licensing. As long as you keep your business. See, I don't want to register anything. And then the reason why I'm doing the cage is to do contracts with the government. They're going to try to bite me down to all these rules and regulations, and I'll just go back to my old stuff and do my private thing. It's not a big deal to me, but the licensing scares me. I don't like registering anything with the United States or anything. I mean, I like to keep everything a private practice, if you will.
Well, I get my MMS through a church, and then they set up a church and call the MMS a sacrament.
Really?
Yep, and they don't get screwed with anymore.
Well, that sounds good. UCC 5013C.
I don't think they did a C3. I think they did a D or something. They did something different.
Did they?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some similarities between all the different ones, but I think what's important is the board of trustees when you set that up.
It's a 508.
I knew you would know.
508 membership. I've been dealing with those for the past couple of years. I'm still learning it, but I have one set up. But
nice.
And the ins and outs of it, though, so I can't elaborate.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Hey, were you going to go over the suite address?
Okay, the P.O. box is your suite address. Instead of putting P.O. box, put suite. Suite makes it international.
Oh, sheesh. Okay.
Yeah, I just learned that myself.
Okay.
You're good. I just learned it. I have PO box and all my stuff, but all my old. So this is how I have all my old stuff is like PO box and my all cap name. Now all my new stuff is Peter Joseph Polinsky Estate, suite number, and like that. And I sign my name, Peter Joseph Polinsky Estate. When I sign through the stamps, I got all my stuff scanned in for court. I'm gonna take it to a consulate and get it notarized there, and then I'm gonna go down to my state because I've been bullshitting for like 2 weeks of going to see these people. So,
What are you getting acknowledged, or what are you getting?
well, all right. So I got pulled over, and I told this cop I was gonna take his family out. Anyways, ended up getting arrested. So, well, I was leaving. I was at a concert, and I had my girl's daughter in the back, and this cop came running up to the car like he was Rambo.
Okay.
He met Rambo that night. You see what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to arrest me. They were just shaking. I was like, let's go to the shop, be out, let's get it done. They gave me a bottle of water. I finished my bottle of water. They released me. But they wrote up tickets. No, I didn't get handcuffed. I didn't get booked. I just got put in a room and handcuffed me to no benches. They're like, Mr. Polinsky, do you need anything? They were asking me all the time. I was like, no. I want to get up. I was like, are you unlawfully detaining me? Are you bringing me to a judge, or what are we doing here? And they're like, we just want you to calm down and cool down because, the sergeant is in fear for his life right now. I have approached with caution because my last 2 offenses were beating the piss out of cops.
Oh, okay.
So
but you realize that they're independent contractors. They're not real.
Feds are testing you.
That too. So I was flipping out. I was belligerent. I didn't handle myself properly. Okay. So that's why they brought me down, cool me down. You know what I mean? Because I'm a hazard. So I went up. My aunt was visiting from Florida, and I have a summer house that my grandfather bought at Silver Beach, and so I was leaving, going back home, and on my way home, I smoke when I drive everywhere. Everywhere I go, I'm smoking. And I got pulled over for a headlight. You know what I mean? So I was not even speeding, and I'm always doing 90, always. And I wasn't speeding, so I'm like, yo, what am I getting pulled over for? So I thought it was like the feds really pulling me over because they knew I was smoking. It was like they wanted me to do this court stuff and like go see the mayor and everybody. So like they do stuff to like, pressure me. Or the people that I'm helping out, they'll do things that pressure me to get things done because I'd be procrastinating on some shit. But anyways, so the second time I got pulled over, I was smoking as I got pulled over. I didn't put it out. I was just sitting there, and I was like, what's up, I said, I'm a private attorney general. I'll show you on my transcripts, the guy that arrested me. He goes, the reason he pulled, I was trying to get out of the parking lot, and I was calling him a public servant. I told everybody I was a private attorney general. That's all they put in my deposition because they know anyways. So, but the second time, I was really nice to the officers. All they did was, pull me out, ask me a few questions, and then let me go. So it's on how you want. Once your paperwork is, you can't try and give these guys law lessons because as soon as you get your ticket, if you were set up properly, you wouldn't be getting tickets. You wouldn't be getting pulled over. So that's what I mean. I'm still half in, half out. You know what I mean? But I'll show everybody how to get their dividend payouts. That's what I've been preparing my paperwork for the last week and a half because I got like 6 tickets in each. You know what I mean? So. It's never just one case. It's this, that, AUO, obstruction of justice. He wanted to give me resisting arrest because I swung my hand. He tried to grab my wrist, and I told him if he touched me again, I was going to collapse his windpipe. But because I don't like to be touched. You know what I mean? Like I'm cool, we can talk, but don't fuck with my temple, ever.
They're not real officers anyway. They're just independent contractors.
It's cool, you know what I mean? Believe me, I'm a cool cat in real heated situations. But when it comes to people trying to kidnap my temple, I'm going to react a certain way. That's all it is, you know what I mean? I pre-warn. I'm telling them, if you're going to kidnap me, I'm going to collapse your windpipe. I'm trained for it. Swear to God. But through my situation, I found like just being, I had a half an ounce of weed on me. They didn't even take my weed. I showed it to them, so they didn't bother me, and they were sheriffs. So I didn't get away with anything, but they were really cool. They called, they call somebody. Whenever I get pulled over, there's like somebody that I always see them on the phone. You know what I mean? They get out of the car and they get on their phones like this and they start looking around. And then 5 minutes later, they're at my car saying, "Have a good day." I'm like, all right, cool. Sorry.
I only get tickets when I'm driving a rental car.
I got a parking ticket when I was in Cali last time with the rental.
Yeah, they don't run that's not tied. The plate's tied to my, do not detain. They just slide
pulled me over with him too in the car.
Yeah, and they let us go.
Anyway, so
there's nothing you could do. You know what I mean? Even if you're drunk, whatever, got dope on you, coke on you, it don't matter. As long as you're not hurting nobody, good. As long as you're not stealing property. People I don't help. I don't help people that steal. I don't help people that assault people. I don't help men that beat women. And I don't help pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? At all. So other than that, I'll go to bat. I'll go to war for anything you got. I'll go to war for you. I don't give a shit less. But if you're involved with any of that dumb shit, we'll fuck about you.
Right, exactly.
So what particular about this the new Form 50 fix?
Okay, so instead of using my suite, I was just going to, because it's more private, is using the general post and the rural route. Would that be more private instead of using a suite?
It's not domestic.
All right, you know what? I'll leave it. I'll leave mine how it is. I like mine. It's suffice. It works. Never got sent back. So I just wanted to run it through you because I seen the rural routes on here, and I was like, you know what? This is a cool form. I just didn't know the significance or the enforcement part of it and how it would become relevant to what we're doing. That's all.
Well, one's within the United States, one's without.
Right. Okay. So this one would be without, and then my suite number is within. But I thought my suite's international.
Yeah, suite's international. Yeah. It said you saved General Post Office. So.
Okay. I'll fill out too. I don't care.
So these other fields, valid, trust instrument, we have down here. We have other.
No, see, on the new form, they don't have that. That's where you just click other, and that's why we put the writing. This is an appointment of the Peter Joseph Polinsky estate, appointing Polinsky Peter Joseph, the executor of the estate, through the Power of Appointment Act, Title 26, Section 2038, 2514.
And that's on the new 56?
Well, that's how I fill my forms out. On the new 56, it has like a big white block in the part 2. This is an old form. It's not an updated form, but I just wanted to talk to you about the rural routes and see what the significance was to it. That's all. But now I see that that's how you stay private too, so it's another way to fill it out. That's cool. All right.
The United States is a slave plantation, so we want to stay out of it.
Earth is a slave plantation, period.
Well, no, Earth is a prison planet, but
right.
But the U.S. is a 14th Amendment slave plantation.
Right. All right, so I'll go over court, what to say in federal court, what to say in your appeal, and what to say in these municipal buildings to get it out of court. We'll bond the case, and then I will finish it up. Yeah. And this is how I approach things. This is how I speak to them. This is how I attack shit. All right, so we're gonna start off with your original complaint. Forget all the 10. This is just court stuff. The next, I'll tie everything together in the video that I send out for Jay's foreclosure. And I'll go over all that stuff. For this is just court. So somebody racing?
No, a truck went by.
Your house?
Yeah.
Well, you got the windows open?
Yeah, for the first time in about 2 months. It's been 90 degrees and 99% humidity in California.
Oh, I forgot. I want to show you guys this book real quick. This is another one. It's a skinny one, but it goes over the Q-sips.
I got that one.
Yeah, this is nice. It's a skinny book, you know what I mean? But it goes over where to get them, what they're used for. It goes over the Q-sips in your passport. Here.
Who writes it?
Hold on. Okay. You can get different Q-sips do different things. That QSIP.com in his book explains a lot of stuff in it. But it's by Virginia B. Morris and Kenneth M. Morris.
Yeah, I got it.
You got this?
I found it.
Okay.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, I like this one. Okay, so court, dealing with a foreclosure, dealing with traffic tickets, dealing with child support. It's whatever they say. If you decide to go there, and if you should be in chambers, go there privately. If you're there on a public day, they're always going to call you last, or there's going to be like 3 people in the room, and 2 of them are probably feds. They want to see how you're going to speak to them. They want to see how you're going to conduct yourself. They're going to want to see if it's you that's been doing the studying, or it's somebody just telling you what to say. This is what I'm telling you when you have to stand on your own square. So you go to the clerk and you ask to just, speak to the magistrate in chambers, and if he's not there, ask him if you could set up a formal appointment. Ask for a formal appointment if he's not there. Formal.
I would say, is there time in the magistrate's schedule to receive an appointment?
There you go.
Appointing them trustee.
And then you can also ask the clerk for your bid bond, payment bond, and performance bond. She's going to act like she'd never heard of this shit in her life.
Bid bond what?
Performance bond and payment bond. So these 3 bonds that always start and what control the lower courts. This is for every court case, no matter what you're in. This is the 3 bonds that are always created automatically.
What was the acceptance bond?
But if they kept the bonds?
No, the acceptance bonds. What's the acceptance bond?
There is no acceptance bond. The only thing that you accept is you do a banker's acceptance on the complaint, the traffic ticket, the foreclosure, the court case number. You do your banker's acceptance, UCC Article 3-419. That's where your acceptance comes from.
Can you go up, run down that language real quick? Just say it one more time.
What, the banker's acceptance?
Yeah, whatever you would write down on it.
Okay, I accept for value and consideration and return this for full settlement and closure in accordance with HJR 192, Public Law 7310, 73-10, UCC 3-104, UCC 3-419. And then there's the Unilos ones that I add in there. I can't remember because I have them on my desktop. And then
okay.
Charge back to the all cap name, and then I put the social security account number, and then I put exemption bond number, and then that's the number on the back of the social. That's a CUSIP too. That's your exemption bond number, and then on top of the ticket, I put in gold on the top right. You'll see this on all my docs. On my top right corner, I put my social security number without dashes. And then on the back of every page, I put a 2-cent stamp and sign it. Date it, 82 number above it. And I have my stuff scanned in, so I'll put all that up in next class. You see all my traffic tickets. Okay, so you ask for they're going to say no, okay? So that's your denial. They're going to act like they're dumb. That's all. You just have to ask, okay? If you do get them, you let me know, and I'll tell you what to do to them. And I'll tell you, you know what I mean? I'll have a class on how to fill these out as well. So your case numbers, you guys, this is the importance of opening a brokerage account with Fidelity, is you look up the amounts. This is where all the accounting from, because you need a broker, okay? And DTCC and Fidelity is what runs, this is your pass-through and this is your brokerages. So when you get your case numbers, you call Fidelity, and you have your brokerage account. You set up an appointment with your broker, and then you get your QSIPs. So when you're looking for a QSIP, you need to go through Fidelity. Fidelity's the boss, or Bloomberg. I think I got to look into Bloomberg. I don't know how much it is to set up the platform, but I know one dude it cost him like 10 racks or 10,000, and he calls. It puts you right in line with a broker. He has a personal broker, and whatever they're trading, the Qs, like he gets his QSIPs from the broker, and the broker will give him his transcript and tell him what they're trading it on. You put the claim in for the QSIP, the 1099s and all that, take it back to the broker, and then you get your dividend payout from everything. So I'll have a class on how to fill out the bid bond, performance bond, payment bonds, 1414, 1416, 1418, standard form 28, standard form 30, standard form 181. And then you guys have to redo your SS5 forms. The reason why you have to redo them is because when they did it, you were an infant, so the contract is null and void. So everybody should have a social security card with their lowercase name on it and an 82 number, your 82 number.
There's also the trick where they create disjoinder from the middle name is not part of the legal name on the Social Security Administration. So Sean Scott Haggerty is the baptism, the birth certificate business name. So if it's a multi-part first given name, you have to put Sean Scott in the first name field and Haggerty in the last name field. And
right.
I'm gonna realign the birth certificate to the SS5 FS form by putting the legal registration date, not the delivery date of the human.
Right, that's what you talk about, because the legal registration date is what, a week before?
After, no, 10 days after. 10 days after.
After?
Yeah, mine's is 10 days after.
10 days after.
Gotcha, okay.
Tito, can you elaborate on that, the SS5 to get into, add the 82 number on it, please?
I'll give you mine. I'm filling mine out tomorrow with my girl.
I'm doing the SS5 FS.
Okay.
FS is outside the United States.
Well, because you got to make the correction. She told me to look up how to make the correction to the SS5.
Okay.
And then the correction is the correction for the SS5 basically is you're not a U.S. citizen anymore. You're becoming the non-resident alien.
But I'm using the SS5-FS because the SS5 is for inside the United States. The -FS SS5 is not in the United States.
All right, so FS.
That's the one that's actually in the Social Security office is the FS one.
SS5-FS.
Yeah, that's the one that they have the paper form when I was in there. Because I noticed that the same thing he's saying about the FS. And
right.
Because normally whenever you download them, it's just, the SS5. But
right.
then I noticed that -FS, and I was like, what is that? Financial security? Something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something crazy.
Fiscal services.
But I noticed that when I was in the office, that's the one that they had. I was like, okay, perfect.
There's a difference in the instructions. The instructions are different.
Okay. All right.
Now, on mine, before the name would be straight across.
Okay.
Mine's first, middle, last, and suffix. Now, when I got my new ones, and I don't know if the name change has anything to do with it, because me and my Empress, she had her name changed. When we got our new socials, they had the first and middle on top, and the last name and my suffix on the bottom. Now, she only has two names. That's first and last. They had her first on top and her last on the bottom. And I don't know what that means. So if anyone knows, feel free to elaborate.
Yeah, I'll ask my girl, and then Sean, do you know what that means?
The tricky part is now the fact is the middle name, they can put anything as the middle name. Q, Tyrannosaurus in the middle. It doesn't matter what they put in the middle name field. Because that birth certificate is not the same. The information on the birth certificate has a different name, full name, and a different birth and a different legal registration date. There's a disjoinder. So the Social Security
disjoinder for the Social Security.
The clogging provision where there's no flow from the Social Security.
My grandpa.
Wow. I think something's up with his mic. We can't hear you.
I need to do that too. I have an SSA-550, SSA 552 request.
And the feds is cutting you
Or
in
an
and out.
administrative hearing before an administrative law judge, because the CSP field, the citizenship. Okay.
Hey guys, real quick, it's Mark again.
Speak up.
You guys mentioning the fact that. Sorry.
Okay.
You guys mentioned the difference between.
So someone needs to mute their phone in the background and have children's in the background.
Yeah. I actually had to order a new Social Security card because my old one was getting a little ratty. On my original one, the one that my parents got me, my name was, full across, first, middle, initial, last. On the new one, it's first, middle, initial on top and last name on the bottom.
Okay. I'll look into it. I'm going down to SSA because I have to talk to them about my account and make sure everything is set up, because there's your treasury card will be, okay, like I told, I don't know if you heard me say it before, your treasury card, people think it's like green or white. It could be any debit card or anything. It's just all about IRS Form 8888. You do the same thing with your unconditional donation, Social Security, and then you see when you set up my account, they're supposed to give you a debit card. So you can make your donations to your Social Security trust and then claim it and then have them deposit it to that debit card. That's your treasury card. You can get money whenever you want. Boom, boom, boom.
One last
But
thing.
the names and going up and down, I don't know exactly what that means, but I'll be in SSA and I'll ask them.
Okay, one last thing. On both those cards, each one has a different bond number on the back.
Yeah, you get 10.
So,
10 different bond numbers.
Is it? I thought it was 12 because 12 different states, but I guess it's 10. In any event, should I be doing a separate security agreement for each one of those?
I would have them on your Schedule A, both your Social Security accounts, yeah, and exemption bond numbers.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
But the one that you're going to want to use is your newest one. See, I had my old Federal Reserve was in Chicago, and then my new one that I got is in St. Louis.
Yeah, my old.
So I'm using my newest one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. My old was in New York, and new one's in Chicago. So cool. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Your new one has a new number?
No,
new number?
Same SS number.
Ah.
But the control number may be different.
That's fine. I'll figure it out. I'll find out. All right. So the verbiage, the only verbiage is the way that you're going to speak to a judge or a clerk is if they ask who you are, you always tell them that you're the lien creditor and you're the entitlement holder. You can do authorized representative, executor, grantor, administrator, beneficiary. I stick with executor, beneficiary, lien creditor, and entitlement. Those are the four that I like to say. The lien creditor and entitlement holder are the highest statuses, because whoever has the highest security interest. And your UCC one is the lien. Your entitlements come for your security interest.
Is it title holder or entitled holder?
Entitlement. The entitlement holder, UCC Article 8-505 through 508 explains those entitlement rights. Laurel, mute everybody.
I know, I gotta go soon.
There you go. Okay, and then this is the language that you want to say to them. So if they say anything to you about the charge, you say, Your Honor, I accept all your charges for value and consideration. In accordance to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 8. Please let me see the affidavit signed under penalty of perjury. Because I believe the court to lack subject matter jurisdiction. In accordance to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 12B2.
Repeat the rule number.
12, subsection B, subsection 2. And you have not stated a claim upon which relief can be granted in accordance to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Rule 12B, subsection 6. Now, if he doesn't give you this is where you redeem your bonds. Now you ask him, now may I please see my 1099 OID, and may I please see my payment bond, performance bond, and bid bond.
Repeat.
And then may I please see my 1099 OID? May I see the payment bond? Actually, don't say may I. Say I'm respectfully requesting. Respectfully requesting. Because you don't want to start demanding. You have to request it 3 times, and after the 3rd time, it becomes demands. I'm respectfully requesting the payment bond, bid bond, performance bond. Pull up my notes real quick. PJ's commercial notes. Gene shows everybody or talks about how the procedure of filling these bonds out. And I have them in my notes. At the bottom, Laurel, nope, go back. Go back. Right when you open it. Yep, go all the way down. Yep. All right, go to control find, type in bid bond. Back. No, keep going. Keep going. Right here, okay. Then you fill out the performance bond. The performance bond is the reinsurance for the bid bond. Put yourself down as the guarantor or reinsurer. The performance bond is $274. These are okay. So he's talking about the Miller Act bonds right now, but the performance bond I think is 25. Standard form 25. Don't quote me. You have 3 different bonds: bid bond, performance bond, payment bond. The payment bond is the underwriter of the performance bond. You can do all 3 bonds. You can underwrite the performance bond and underwrite the bid bond with the performance bond. That's the reinsurer. They're doing it for you because nobody knows this stuff. You're the one that creates all this mess. Question and answer. If you have a case pending, what you should do is go to whatever district you're in. I think Ohio. You go find the bond. Who's got your bond? I'm going after my bond question. Are you reinsurer? The bond payment answer. Well, you're acting as the underwriter. On these forms, they ask who the surety is. It's your all cap name is who the surety is. Are you the reinsurer on the payment bond also? Well, you're acting as the underwriter. Tell you what's going on with the banks. The banks are all tied in with this. Every time you sign a check or a promissory note, the bank makes a derivative on it. The banks do not have any money at all. A check is a promissory note, and what they do is endorse it on the back after you present it for payment and endorse it on the back without recourse. And they sell it as a derivative. They monetize it. They monetize debt under the Monetary Control Act of 1980. They monetize it and sell it internationally. If you have a check for $100, you'll have 20 or 30 international corporations using your check. All right, check. All right, so that goes into the checks. But see, what he's explaining to you is we're the underwriters. We just like they have underwriters. We're underwriting our own corporation. We're insuring it and we're underwriting it. So what's it say? The payment bond. So your payment bond is your underwriter for the performance bond. So all that's saying is your payment bond insures their performance. That's all it's saying there. All right, so go back to the notes. That was just a little note I wanted you guys to see from Gene. Oh, that's the mortgage. Go back to what we were writing. I just wanted to go over how I'll fill out the bonds. Right there. No. What'd you do? You didn't save it? Or go up? I think you were writing it up. There you go. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so then if you don't get to see them bonds, then you say, okay, I'm ordering this court and ordering this case to be removed out of municipal buildings, wherever you're at. It's always a municipal building. The order of removal and the power comes from Title 28 USC 1441 subsection A. That's the one we'll be using, but it's 1441 through 1447. We're removing it to federal district court, which has original jurisdiction to hear a case. Admiralty case. In accordance to Title 28, USC Section 1333. Okay, and then you'll give them, then you hand them your order of removal. Make sure it's notarized. Certificate of service. PS, you could do the firm mailing book or the certified mail and your return receipt.
On the certificate of mailing, right?
Yep. What's that? 38. Oh, it's not 3806.
3817 or
3817
or 3877.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. Yep. Okay, so now we're in federal court, or say we have to appeal. All right. Say you have a judgment against you and you have 30 days to appeal. This is your appeal, okay? It's just the same thing that you said in the paragraph. Your appeal is always two laws, always. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 12b2, the court lacks subject matter jurisdiction. You've heard me say this many times. The bank's prosecuting attorney is not the real party of interest. The IMF is always the real party of interest, which you see in my bill of complaint. It shows the IMF as one of the defendants because they're the real party of interest. That's who we want to bring in to settle this matter, the IMF. You know what I mean? Because we're going to show them all the fraudulent shit that these companies been doing, and they need their hands smacked. You know what I mean? They need to take a little bit of an insurance claim out on them. They need to pay us for their estate embezzlement. So all appeals for foreclosures, traffic tickets, whatever, It's always Federal Rules of Civil Procedure Rule B2 because the court always lacks subject matter jurisdiction because there's never an assessment. They're never going to give you an assessment of these fines. Prosecuting attorney is not the real party of interest, so they never gave factual testimony on the record. And if there's no factual testimony, then they're not competent enough to testify, and that goes into the probate thing of Rule 601. And it goes into dead man statutes and how they're not competent enough to testify. I went over that in another class. They have some of my files blocked, so when we're sending it out, and some of them I saved on Word. So if you're having trouble opening up some of the Word documents, let me know. I may be able to resave them and resend them for you. I know, it's a pain in the ass.
You could print them as PDFs.
Right, but people want to, edit it and make it their own. That's why.
When you print as PDF, they can copy everything.
Gotcha. Okay. So again, the prosecuting attorney, which is all hearsay, the debt collector just trying to collect the debt, has not given factual testimony on the record. So they lack subject matter jurisdiction. Another one is they haven't stated a claim upon which relief can be granted. Because it's all dead. It's rigimus mortis. Gene says the state is dead. They're all rigimus mortis. There's no remedy. Because it's all private copywritten law down there. That's why there's absolutely no remedy there. None. That's why you don't get nothing there. That's why you don't have your counterclaim in federal court. You get ran over. I don't care what paperwork you have, security agreement. They don't give a shit about none of that. That's just how they don't care because they're a private corporation. They're not part of the United States. They're masquerading as part of the executive, not fucking branch, judicial branch.
Yeah, they're nothing judicial there.
They're a private corporation. They're just masquerading as part of our fucking government. They have nothing to do with it. They're pirates.
They're for-profit corporation.
For profit. That's all it is. Everybody's in it to make a buck.
Another thing Gene says is, I appear specially, not generally, and I do
not waiving all rights and
right remedy or defense, whether administrative or procedural. And then I add, and I waive all benefits. Without God, I bring the land.
Boom! I waive all bennies. Then you can
Without God.
Without God. Then you could take an international stamp or a dollar stamp, sign the back of it, pin it to you. That's a federal contract. That's what David Wynn Miller. And
I also say
standing on the land.
But I say I bring the land.
Yep, I bring it. I'm invoking the common law. You could do. You know what I mean? It's all. I get you. But that's a mouthful, for sure.
I do what I'm writing. I make a record of it.
Right.
Because when you get in there, they hand you out the statement of rights. They give me my rights written down on a piece of paper. I cross it out at the top. I write, I bring the land, and I state what I just stated on their paperwork. I'm not taking the rights you're giving me. I'm saving the suitor.
Okay. So that's your appeal. Real simple. That's your appeal. Okay. So we'll go into federal court now and foreclosure and what you're going to say what you're going to say that shuts everything down. Okay, Your Honor, so this would be in all your bill of complaint. You say, hey, I just need to see that Rule 424 B5 prospectus. I want to see, 95 cash flow statement. I want to see the 1099 OID because I have my claim on the trust. With 1099A, 1096, 8281, OID, 706, 709, 1041, UCC 1, security agreement. Surety bond. No, that's not for that. You don't want to see that. You're good. Security agreement. Okay, so I judge and you see the B5 prospectus. The bank has to produce the 95 cash flow statement. The bank has to file my OID. So as you're doing this, just imagine that you have your private administrative procedure going on. So now you have the bank in default, right? So now we're going to say, Judge, Your Honor, we can do all this orally. Remember, and go back to my notes, Uniform Trust Code, I believe 406, 407 says how to do this orally. Okay. Your Honor, the bank owes performance. They are in breach of trust. I am ordering the collapse of this trust through a default and because, oh no, so and now say and because, and I want my recoupment because I have a proprietary interest in the note and its proceeds. So even all that note you left abandoned, that all gained interest. That all gets paid out to you. This is in accordance with UCC Article 3-306. Your Honor, as you can see through this constructive trust, I'm making an adverse claim in accordance to UCC Article 8-102.
Repeat that.
UCC Article 8-102. It goes over my entitlement rights as the entitlement holder in UCC Article 8-505 through 508. My bad, I had like 7 messages. My buddy texted me. He's in the DR right now riding dolphins. Man, I'm over here teaching class. All right. Go down. I can't see what I have. Okay, so I'm talking about UCC Article 5-508. And you can also take notice of my status as lien creditor to this case. Now, this is where you bond your case, right? So this is where you put your surety bond, assign everything to the court. For UCC 1 and UCC 3.
How do you do that?
So you write up, I did it last class. I'll go over it next class. Just make a reminder. Or shoot me a message and I'll go over it with you personally. But I got to get going. Okay. So then you say, Judge, you take the case number, say, I'm doing a special deposit on this security. Because that's what the complaint is. It's a security with your name on it, your property. So I'm doing a special deposit. So I'm doing a special deposit for special purposes. No, take this on the security part out. For cesticate uses. And I'm ordering you to give me my dismissal security. As you collapse this trust and write me a check for my recoupment. Or I'll file everything for you. And that's it. It's all you have to say to them. They can't come at you with anything. Anything. If it's not an IMF agent across from you prosecuting or trying to collect from you, objection, hearsay. He's not the real party of interest. This court lacks subject matter jurisdiction. I motion this court, or I order this court to collapse my trust. Practice with them. Practice in the mirror. Go over your own script. But this is all the forms and it's all you need. So this is your court, right? Your counterclaim is in federal court, right? That's your federal rules of civil procedure, Rule 13. The reason why you have a counterclaim is because the original complaint, your claim arises from the original complaint. You have a proprietary interest in a security instrument. That's UCC Article -305 and 306. That's where the recoupment comes in. So you have a proprietary interest, okay? Now at the same time, you have your private administrative procedure going, so you're defaulting them. So their default is they're in breach of trust through non-performance. The bank owes you performance. The courts owe you performance. So whatever you sign your name to and hand somebody, they owe you performance, but you have to give them a performance bond to complete these tasks. You are the lien creditor and you're the entitlement holder. You have the entitlement rights. You're entitled to all the proceeds from the note, the interest, the monetization, whatever they sold it on. Your name is your property on there. All you we'll put them in. Oh, add this too to the 95 cash flow statement. Tell them you want to see the accounting of FAS form 140, which is your offset. Okay, FAS form 125, which is your, I don't know if it's the hedge funds ones or the securitization, and then there's 133, FAS 133. And then your balance sheets 2049, 2046, 2049, and 2099. All right, let's stop right here. I'm gonna add to this.
Repeat
and then
that. 2046.
It's all in my notes. 2049, 20. This is all in my commercial notes. All this stuff right here. It's all in my commercial notes. Right. Everything that I just said right now is all in my commercial notes. I'm just saying what I would say in court and how I speak to these people.
Okay.
So we'll leave it here. You've had a long day. So next class, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go over the etiquette. I'm going to show you how to bond the case. I'm going to show you how to fill all these fucking forms out. I'll show you, and then I'll revamp this, and then I'll go over the bill of equity, and then it'll be foreclosure court, and then child support, all the same shit. And then we'll get into recoupment, because I'm filling out my 706 and everything this week, and I'll scan my stuff in with my court stuff. All my court stuff is ready. I just want to get it notarized for you guys. That's all. So.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
It's fun, you know what I mean? It's fun to get everybody paid. This is a great group, man. It's a really great group. You know how many smart people and kings and queens that are in this group that don't know it yet?
Thank you.
You guys are on the right track, man. You guys show up every week. Believe me, you guys are on the right path. There's progress, a lot of progress being made. Sean's always learning something new. I'm always learning something new. You guys are always bringing new and awesome facts to the table that I take notes on, that I add to my stuff. I love it. I love that you guys are always here. It means the world to me. It's the highest honor ever. But Laurel's had a real long day. Like I said, guys.
Yeah, our condolences, Laurel.
Keep her in your prayers, guys.
Thank you very much, everybody.
You guys are awesome. Listen, stay persistent, stay dreaming hard, always follow your heart, always act through love and light. You'll get to where you want to be. Stay dreaming hard. I love you guys. Love you, Laurel. Thank you for showing up today. You're a warrior. You're an ace in the hole. I love working with you. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for your donations. Thank you guys for your support, your belief in me. It means the world to me. I hope you guys have a great night. I love you guys. Love and light to all. Hotep, have a good night.
Love you back, brother.
Good night, Peter.
Hotep, thank you, Peter.
Have a good night, guys.
Peter.